Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Plus Party Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Tom Corliss from wdwnt.com. On this show, each and every week, we'll be reviewing all of the new and original content appearing on the Disney Plus streaming service. So without any further delay, let's get things started. For years, we have anxiously awaited Leslie Iwerk's documentary about Walt Disney Imagineering. Well, it's finally here now as part of the launch of Disney Plus. The first episode spans a course of about an hour and basically covers the advent of Walt Disney Imagineering through to the end of Walt Disney's life. In the course of the program, we see the creation of Disneyland, its evolution into a world-renowned tourist destination, Walt's triumphs leading him and the folks at WED Enterprises to create attractions for the 64-65 New York World's Fair. We take a trip through Pirates of the Caribbean, and we delve into his final dream, Walt Disney World. In the midst of this introductory episode, we're briefly introduced to the earliest Imagineers, such as John Hench, Harriet Burns, Mark Davis, Alice Davis, and Mary Blair, just to name a few. The documentary doesn't delve too far into the full stories of these individuals, rather introducing them and enough about them to adequately tell the tale of the development of Disneyland and WED Enterprises from the early 1950s until 1967. Even as a well-versed Disney Parks aficionado, I was delighted to see footage I had never seen before related to classic attractions such as the Jungle Cruise, the Autopia, and the Mighty Matterhorn. For example, actual footage is shown of Autopia cars smashing into each other, violently I might add, before the bars were added to keep the vehicles traveling in their own lanes. I'd certainly heard the story told a million times regarding Disneyland's opening days, but I had never actually seen the playful car crashes for myself. The Imagineering story offers plenty of moments like this, along with remastered clips and captivating visuals that'll keep you entertained even through those stories you've already been told. While it certainly could go further on controversial topics, there are moments of surprise in the documentary where Disney allows it to be somewhat brutally honest. I was surprised to hear mention of buckling to political correctness over time on the Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as references to the many amusement and theme parks that tried to rip off Disneyland following its many successes. I saw that many other websites like IGN reviewed this show and gave it mediocre ratings, but in honesty, I don't think this show is for them. It's for us. It's for Disney Parks fans. And Disney Plus seems to have an opening lineup striving to reach every one of the company's fans in every corner of the fandom. If you read our website or watching this right now, you probably love the Disney parks, and it's likely that you've seen every documentary, TV special, or anything of the like about these places because there are really so few. We are in many ways starved for content as a fandom in the grand scheme of things, to the point where many of us have made careers of creating our own content about the parks, and now we have a brilliantly assembled documentary series about what we love. It is thoughtfully put together, with footage and interviews never before seen, enough to make a hardened curmudgeon like myself remember what it was like so many years ago to learn new things about the parks for the first time. I felt that same childish wonder I once had hearing the story of the creation of Disneyland, as I did seeing footage of a bobsled gliding through the unfinished Matterhorn on this show. Moments like that made me forget that I had stayed up past 2 a.m. to watch this that first night. Moments like Bob Gurr sinking a basket in the Matterhorn basketball hoop and Marty Sklar walking amidst the audio animatronic cast of the Pirates of the Caribbean made me feel more awake at 3 a.m. than I probably did at 3 p.m. the day before. Yes, the Imagineering story will undoubtedly tell you things that you already knew as a hardcore fan, but there's enough in the way of glorious visuals, never before seen footage, and appearances from those who created this magical thing we love so much that you'll be enthralled every moment of the first episode. Disney Plus has offered more than enough reasons for you to get on board already, but the Imagineering story honestly would have been enough for me to feel good about my subscription.
School movies growing up like I was, you are going to want to check out this brand new show. So, if you're ready, let's follow a whole new bunch of Wildcats into the first 2 episodes of this new show. We come back right after summer break in the first episode, and we meet Ricky and Nini, who were high school sweethearts, but unfortunately, they were on a break over summer vacation. This comes after Ricky couldn't say he loved Nini back after she posted a very heartfelt song on her Instagram, saying how much she loved him. This led to them breaking up, and Nini ended up going to summer camp heartbroken before she met EJ, who's a current senior at East High. Also on the first day, we learned about Miss Jen, the new drama teacher, who was putting on the first ever performance of High School Musical, the musical at East High. This starts all type of excitement around, and we learn that EJ has posted on his Instagram about him and Nini auditioning for the part of Troy and Gabriella. Ricky sees this and decides he needs to try to audition for Troy to get back with Nini somehow. Ricky, unfortunately, though, arrives late to his audition, and he has to read the part of Chad Danforth. During his audition, he totally goes off script, talking about his own feelings for Nini as if she was Gabriella, and then sings the song that Nini posted for him as part of his audition. Immediately after, we get the cast list, and we see that Nini got cast as Gabriella, Ricky has the part of Troy, and EJ got the part of Chad. Now, this is just the very first episode. The second episode starts off with the read-through, which does not go well, as Ricky and Nini are trying desperately not to have anything to do with each other, while EJ is kind of caught in the middle here. At this time, Miss Jess and Carlos, the choreographer, have to try to figure out how to get the chemistry to go so much better than what it is now that the two are broken up. They start to plan how they can have certain rehearsals that just focus on Troy and Gabriella's part, and then they even add in a kiss at the end of the Breaking Free number in an attempt to prove their relations. But when EJ finds out about this change in the script, he enlists the help of his cousin, Ashlyn, who is playing the part of Miss Darvis in the musical. EJ wants Ashlyn to try to steal Nini's phone during rehearsal to see if Ricky has been texting her at all. Ashlyn refuses and does her best to focus on her new power ballad that Miss Jess has asked her to write for Miss Darvis for the second act. With all the added pressure and being forced to get along and not learning his choreography, Ricky decides to quit the musical. This, in turn, gives hope to Gina, who is the transfer student and understudy for the part of Gabriella, hope that Nini will soon follow with all the frustration. That way she can get the lead role. Gina follows Ricky off to the skate park that evening in an attempt to try to convince him to stay. That way, Nini feels frustrated enough to step down from the part since they're not getting along. Ricky then becomes determined to stay and practice his choreography and learn his lines, and comes ready to the rehearsal the next day. During this rehearsal, though, EJ finds Nini's phone in his bag and gives a thank you to Ashlyn for helping him retrieve it after all. However, Ashlyn admits that she did not help and that it was Gina instead, saying that she has the same goal for the musical to go their way, for them to get the parts of Troy and Gabriella, and for everything to work out perfectly without Nini and Ricky being involved. Now, this is a lot of drama, and we're only in 2 episodes. Now, these episodes are about 35 to 40 minutes each so far, and we are cramming in so much drama for one high school drama club, which is to be expected with any type of drama club, though. The pacing is actually done really well, and we see so much of character development happening in 2 episodes, and it works out really well for how this is set up. With it being a very short series, I'm very excited to learn a little bit more about each character in each episode. Like with this one, second episode, we learned more about Ashlyn, where in the first one it was pretty much focused on Ricky and Nini. Hopefully the next couple episodes focus on the rest of the cast, and we can kind of start seeing how all of this works before opening night. So, stick with us, Wildcats, as we continue to delve into the drama that happens behind the scenes, and we'll see if this musical ever happens to reach opening night. And remember, we're all in this together. Bye, Wildcats!
Hi, I'm Nathan Hartman, and I reviewed Lady and the Tramp. So Lady and the Tramp marks the 4th time this year that Disney has remade one of their classic animations into a live-action / photorealistic film. Perhaps this is the first time it's made sense. With 64 years separating it from the original, many Disney fans lack a die-hard connection, so the studio could really play with the material if they so desired. Sadly, this remake, much like the titular house dog lady at the beginning of our film, doesn't stray very far from home. Like the 1955 classic, this one follows Lady, now voiced by Tessa Thompson, a domesticated and happy pup who finds her life turned upside down when her owners have a child. No longer the center of their attention and in the literal doghouse, she encounters a street-smart tramp, played by Justin Theroux, and finds herself exploring a world beyond her backyard. And what a beautiful world it is. The early 1900s production design feels lived in, but still has a bit of a Main Street USA veneer to give it a splash of the fantastical. While that works well to bring the former cartoon into the real world, the same approach isn't as successful for our characters, whose actions all feel more theatrical than grounded, especially the human ones. For example, the antagonistic dog catcher who hunts Tramp for the majority of the story doesn't show any real motivation for his tunnel-visioned desire to capture the slippery stray. More a narrative force than a real character, the film never gives him a moment of real humanity, and does him a disservice. The dialogue is also odd overall. A mix of old century and current vernacular, the characters never sound completely period appropriate. At one point, Lady describes something as gross, a strange phrase to hear as a horse-drawn carriage goes by. It makes one wonder why they just didn't, set this in the present in the first place. Nothing in the story is period specific. You can still get spaghetti in a back alley if it's 2019. Maybe a change of scenery is exactly the kind of thing Disney should have done with this less culturally relevant story. But it is charming. The voice talents, especially Ashley Jensen as Jock, give it their all, and the doggy dialogue special effects enhance more than distract. The emotional beats, though nothing new, still find their marks, and the filmmaking is well crafted. This is Disney showing they want to be making movies in the vein of Netflix, far more than their old-school direct-to-video Disney Toons junk. Lady and the Tramp is a cute story that, even with its flaws and forgettability, can still make for a bella notte of Disney Plus for the entire family.
Hey guys, it's Eric, and we are talking Disney Plus's Noel. I was fortunate enough to go see this movie in theaters, but since then I've seen it again. I've seen it on Disney Plus, and it's as magical as ever. I really, really enjoyed this movie, folks. It was so just charming. Anna Kendrick was lovable, likable, just quirky. She was essentially what Anna Kendrick does best, but I feel like it worked in this movie a lot more than normal because of the fact that Noel does come from the North Pole. She doesn't understand like the regular things of life, and that just played really, really well. Bill Hader did an amazing job as Nick, I gotta say. But again, I'm gonna give it to Anna Kendrick. She just stole the show. Something that I really enjoyed about this movie is just the world building that they did for the North Pole. Like it just looks amazing. One movie that I really enjoy that did a really good job, I think, with the world building of the North Pole again was the Santa Claus movies. The Santa Claus 2 and the Santa Claus 3 just reworked what we think about the North Pole and how it works and how it looks. And I think Noel honestly took it a step further, and that was just amazing for me. Something else that I really, really enjoy about this movie is the fact that there are so many like hidden little things in this. Like there's hidden Mickeys, there's Duffy, there's Shelly May. There's so many references just to like big companies, which honestly, I will say, it didn't take me out of the movie at all. I feel like it really did just cement it, the fact that it's not just a movie, like this is actually happening in our like everyday world. So I really enjoyed it. Guys, if you haven't already, watch Noel. Watch it now. Watch it for Christmas. Watch it before Christmas. It is going to be literally a classic. I really, really enjoyed it. And I hope you guys did too. If you've seen it, let me know down below what you guys thought. Alright? I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, it's Eric, and we're talking Pixar original content for Disney Plus. Now, since the launch of Disney Plus, we do have 3 original projects from Pixar, which I am very excited about. We got Forky Asks a Question, which as of right now, we've got 2 episodes. Now, just to let you know, these episodes are very short. They're actually just under 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes long. Much shorter than normal Pixar Toy Story shorts. Not including the TV specials, because those are longer because they were for TV. But like Hawaiian Vacation and Small Fry, all of those were just about like 7 minutes long, and these are just 3, so it's half of that. And I really wish that Pixar would have done maybe a 6 or 7 minute long video or short of this nature, because Forky Asks a Question, I gotta say, is extremely funny. I think it's funny. I think if you guys have kids and they love Forky, or they just like silly things, I think they're really going to enjoy this. The first episode is What is Money? And that obviously has our favorite piggy bank Ham in it. And he is basically just trying to teach Forky what money is, what money's used for. But Forky's just getting extremely distracted, which I found hilarious, and I honestly just laughed out loud every single time. The second one is so the second short of Forky Asked a Question is, what is a friend? And the whole premise of this was actually pretty funny. I thought we were going to see maybe Woody or maybe one of the other toys, and nope, he is talking all about a glass, like a mug. And there's like this running thing of, what? No! And I'm not going to tell you what that is. You guys have to see the short. It's really, really funny. Tell me what you guys think in our articles as well. And I hope you guys enjoy. We have Pixar in real life. Now, Pixar in real life is like a reality, kind of like hidden camera show, which I think is an amazing premise for this. Now, according to the trailer that we've gotten, we are going to be seeing like different Disney Pixar characters come to life, like Russell. We're going to see Dash from The Incredibles. We're going to see Wally. We see Hank from Finding Dory, which are all going to be so much fun. And really just the premise and the thought of what they can do with Pixar in real life really intrigues me. Now, the first episode, I gotta say, probably just from the trailer and just from what we saw, probably the weakest of them that we're going to see, but I still really enjoyed it. It has to do with the Inside Out console, like the console that's in Riley's head, and all the characters are kind of like controlling. It has to do with that, and that whole console is basically just put out in a park, and you see people coming up to it, pressing buttons, pulling levers, but when they start pushing like the emotion buttons, there's actors in front of the console that they start to control. So it's really fun to see them just go from like happy and they're like, oh no, like, oh, the situation, they should be mad at this situation. They should be like really disgusted about the whole thing. It's really cool. But again, I feel like it might be one of the weakest ones for the series. But hey, we've only got one episode. Let's see what happens. Now our next thing comes from the Spark Shorts project. Now Spark Shorts is smaller shorts that Pixar is doing. They revealed 3 shorts already. Well, 4 shorts already. 3 of them were revealed in February and in January and February of this year. And with the launch of Disney Plus, we have gotten Float. Now Float, I gotta say, tugs on the heartstrings. It does. It's just like those old Pixar movies, Pixar shorts, that just right away, like, you get emotional and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. It's so good. The animation itself and just the story, I feel like, is such an amazing just short overall, and it is one of my favorites so far out of the Spark shorts. If you guys have not seen the other 3 Spark shorts, please go see those. Let me know what you guys thought. But yes, Float, amazing, and I can't wait to see the other shorts that are coming out in December and in January.
Rondiani here to talk about the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. I'm going to have a little bit of spoilers for the first episode because it's really necessary to talk about the second. The Mandalorian is a Western feel Star Wars show that takes place about 5 years after Return of the Jedi. We're introduced to our main character, who is unnamed, played by Pedro Pascal, who's kind of a successor to Boba Fett in spirit. He's the ultimate bounty hunter, and we see that very quickly in the first episode as he walks into a bar and really quickly dispatches some thugs without even saying a word. Now, after a few more series of seeing how he adapts to different situations, we're given the main plot for the show, where he's given a mysterious bounty that he doesn't even really know what it is by some fallen Imperial soldiers. Now, the rest of this first episode is him trying to complete that bounty with the help of an IG droid voiced by, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce this, the director of Thor Ragnarok, and he was also the voice of Korg in those Marvel movies. Now, this episode ends with him getting his prey, and we find out it's an infant, even though it's supposed to be 50 years old. And the key to it being that infant is it is whatever species Yoda is, a species we've never been named. Now, the second episode is him trying to get his bounty back off the planet. With a series of more challenges that show he's not quite as invincible as we saw him in the first episode. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much about this one, but the second episode is a little more meandering and feels really like a filler episode, almost like a side quest in a video game. But it really shows us that he's caring for this child and doesn't really just want to turn him over, or as it seems that way. Now, the show's great. It really has a Western feel, and it promises us that seedy underbelly where you're supposed to get in Solo, and it's not weighed down by that need to cram in all that backstory. The series is scored well. It has, even the music feels like a Western. I mean, it could feel his home right behind Han Solo, or behind John Wayne walking into a bar. The cinematography is dark and mysterious, but doesn't really hide anything from you. The entire series is being produced and written by Jon Favreau of Iron Man and Marvel fame, among many other things, and is being co-produced by Dave Filoni, who was the showrunner for both the Clone Wars and Rebels TV shows as the supervising director. I think they're off to a great start here. I don't want to get too into details to ruin these for you. They're great little episodes. I wish they were longer. There's about 8 of these, and I don't think we're going to get a lot of story out of these 8 episodes. Hopefully they'll even tie in to the Rise of Skywalker, as some people are theorizing, because the final episode's coming out just about the same time, right after that movie comes out. So we're going to see where that goes. But guys, watch it. If you're a Star Wars fan, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Thank you. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the first episode of the Plus Party Weekly Recap here on wdwnt. We're going to be getting these out to you weekly from here on out. There was just a lot of content these first 2 drops that happened in the same week, and we wanted to review as much of it as possible. Now, we know we're missing a few of the unscripted shows. We're not going to review those for right now. If you want us to review them, please let us know. But for now, we're going to stick to the scripted content and the unscripted content that has to do with the parks, because that's what we do here at wdwnt primarily. There's going to be a lot of other great Disney Plus content coming out. Watch it here. Subscribe below. Read all of our reviews at wdwnt.com. And we hope to see you soon.